Semiconductors, often called the brain of modern technology, are small chips that power everything from smartphones and laptops to cars and medical devices. These tiny components play a big role in our everyday lives, and when their supply is disrupted, the effects are felt worldwide. Let's break down the semiconductor crisis, its causes, and how it's affecting both technology and finance. The semiconductor crisis refers to the global shortage of semiconductors, which has caused delays in manufacturing and skyrocketing prices for various goods. This crisis started around 2020 and has continued to impact industries globally. Semiconductors are critical for running electronic devices. However, the demand for these chips has far outstripped the supply in recent years, leading to a significant shortage. The COVID-19 pandemic disrupted global supply chains. Factories producing semiconductors had to shut down temporarily, reducing the supply. Meanwhile, lockdowns created a surge in demand for electronic devices like laptops and gaming consoles as people worked and studied from home. Modern cars rely heavily on semiconductors for everything from navigation systems to safety features. As car sales rebounded after the pandemic, the automotive industry faced a severe chip shortage. Trade tensions between major countries like the US and China have also played a role. Restrictions on exporting critical technologies disrupted the semiconductor supply chain further. Events like droughts in Taiwan, a key semiconductor producer, and power outages in Texas, another semiconductor hub, slowed down chip manufacturing. Building semiconductor factories is expensive and takes years. With demand rising faster than production capacity, manufacturers struggled to keep up. Tech companies like Apple, Sony, and Samsung have faced delays in launching new products. For example, gaming consoles like the PlayStation 5 became harder to find due to chip shortages. The shortage has made semiconductors more expensive, increasing the cost of manufacturing electronic devices. As a result, consumers have to pay more for items like smartphones, laptops, and even appliances. The tech industry thrives on innovation and launching new products. The crisis has forced many companies to slow down their research and development plans, delaying the arrival of cutting-edge technology. Fields like artificial intelligence, 5G, and electric vehicles rely heavily on advanced semiconductors. The shortage has hindered their growth and adoption. Companies involved in semiconductor production, like TSMC and Intel, have seen their stock prices fluctuate due to uncertainty in the supply chain. Tech companies dependent on these chips also face financial instability. Automakers and electronic manufacturers have had to pay more for semiconductors, cutting into their profits. Some companies even halted production temporarily. To avoid future shortages, countries and companies are investing billions in building new semiconductor factories. For instance, the US government has announced funding for domestic chip manufacturing. These investments will take time to show results but could strengthen the global supply chain in the long run. The ripple effects of the crisis have slowed down industries like automotive and electronics, impacting jobs and GDP growth in many countries. Major semiconductor companies are investing in expanding production capacity. However, these factories take years to build and become operational. Countries are working to reduce dependence on a few key suppliers. For example, India is encouraging local manufacturing under its Make in India initiative. Governments worldwide are offering subsidies and incentives to semiconductor manufacturers. The US recently passed the CHIPS Act to boost domestic chip production. The semiconductor crisis is a reminder of how interconnected the world is. A disruption in one industry can ripple across economies, affecting technology and finance. While efforts are underway to address the shortage, it will take time for the supply chain to stabilize fully. For students and young readers, the crisis highlights the importance of semiconductors and how they influence everything from smartphones to stock markets. It's also a chance to explore careers in this critical and evolving industry. The future may bring solutions like advanced manufacturing techniques or breakthroughs in chip design, paving the way for a more resilient tech-driven world.